Hello there, Dr. Sheep here. Welcome back to another TGIF Talks, episode 72. I'm your host, Dr. Sheep, joined by my co-host, Anonymous Phil.
Oh.
All right, let's roll the intro. Full screen.
Wouldn't you like to get away?
It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday.
And they're always glad you came.
These podcasts are broken down into 4 parts. First, we have how our weeks have been, followed by the news, followed by your comment, followed by a random 4th segment. Today's 4th segment is digging a hole. Anyways, so, alright. We had already recorded 10 minutes of podcast. But Streamlabs, every single time my computer updates, wipes my settings. Wipes them. Actually, no, it was working last night because I recorded a Minecraft Let's Play last night. So, at some point between now and last night, for whatever reason, Streamlabs just forgot all of my settings. So I have to, and it doesn't tell you that. You don't, unless you notice that your audio levels aren't changing, Streamlabs doesn't, it picks up default audio. But default audio is nothing. There is no default audio on this computer, which is really frustrating. So Phil, how have your 2 weeks been?
Well, these last 2 weeks I've been working a lot.
Working away for the
40
man.
hours a week.
How many hours?
40.
Ah, yes, full time. Are you like officially full time? Or are you still like technically a part timer?
I'm part-timer working 40 hours.
Why don't you just like ask for full time?
Well, because this is not a lifetime gig.
Yeah, but
And the moment I do that, I basically set myself up for it to be a lifetime gig.
not necessarily. You can just leave.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm locking myself in. I'm basically digging myself into a hole that'll be harder to get out of.
Well, you turn in your 2 weeks and leave. They can't just stop you unless there's this contract that says you get to work 5 years for us.
Oh no, I know that. I'm okay. That's not the point I'm trying to make. What I'm trying to make is I don't need full-time benefits because I mean insurance is probably better with my parents than Hy-Vee.
Oh, you want to stay on your parents' insurance every time.
Exactly. And to be quite honest, I mean I don't think they have room for more full-timers.
Yeah. Menards won't let me.
They have a limit of how many full-time employees they can have, and I feel like they're already kind of working overdoing the amount of hours they'd like to give people. It's just because right now it's still kind of close to 4th of July. And so they're going to start weeding people off the amount of hours they're giving them.
Yes, and then those people start to quit because they're not getting hours. That's always how it goes.
Well, they say they're going to quit, and then they end up never actually doing it. Some of them do.
That's usually how it goes.
I've talked with a lot of people,
That's
and
me. I'm
it's
gonna
always
quit.
like, yeah, exactly. I've talked with a lot of people. It's always like, yeah, I'm going to quit. 2 months later. So why are you still here?
Can't find a job. That's the problem. I told people I was going to quit. Couldn't find a job. So here I am.
You're also only looking for banking jobs. You're not looking for anything else.
Well, I have to take a different job now. I had an interview Friday morning, because Menards is going to cut $4 out of our pay come September 4th. So,
Like an hour?
yeah. So,
You make more than $4 an hour above minimum wage?
oh yeah.
Really?
Normally I make, so before June, I was making $11.70. I now make $4 above that.
Oh, so you're making like 15 an hour?
Yeah.
That's like not even on the weekends?
That's not even the weekends.
Oh. Oh, and they're going to take that away?
They're going to take it away because it was just an incentive to hire people.
Oh yeah, someone else was. Yeah, my roommate was telling me about that. His place of work or whatever was doing something like that too. They're taking it away.
So now I have to find a different job. And so our cousin,
Yeah.
the one who was divorced, she told me about a job at a local co-op, and I'm like, at least it's working on my career and it pays good, so I applied for it. Now I'm just waiting for them to hear back. They're gonna pay like $15.89 an hour.
What was the? Oh, so wait. So what was the job from Friday?
That was that one, the co-op job.
You said you had an interview, right?
Yeah,
Oh, you're waiting to hear back from it.
yeah.
Oh,
That they literally asked me, I think, one question the entire interview. So,
yeah, how was it, like 5 minute interview?
oh no, it was 30 minutes, but it was mostly me asking a question, him telling me about the company.
Oh, what was the one question they asked you?
What's your goal? What's your like 5-year goal here or whatever?
Huh. And what did you have to say?
Well, I said I'd like to move up. I have a
That's it?
degree, so it's like I don't want to sit here in this low spot for too long. And they're like, yeah, I mean, we'll have you work there for a year or two, and we'll figure out your strengths, and then we can suggest to moving up from there. So, it's a glorified farmhand, but it pays $15.89, which is really good, and it'll pay even more if I get my CDL.
Oh, so you can drive a bus?
Not a bus, like a semi or something.
Semi.
I could drive a bus after I get it. After I get the CDL, I suppose.
What sort of tasks would be required of you on this job?
So, I mean, in the fall here, I'll be filling a lot of anhydrous tanks. Anhydrous ammonia.
Anhydrous ammonia.
Yeah.
You're filling tanks.
Filling those tanks, then delivering water to sprayers and that kind of, and herbicide to sprayers, that kind of stuff. That's
Oh, wait,
like-
so you have to get your CDL, right?
yeah, pretty much. They're like, if you get
Oh.
but like, if you get it within like the first, 3 months, 90 days, you get $50 raise.
Oh, $50 raise?
50-cent raise, yes. So I mean, it's a pretty good deal to actually get that. So I'll have to work on that if I get the job. I mean, it's pretty much a done deal, I guess. But I figured I'd hear back from them by now. But I don't know. It is only Monday, so. Anyways, what we originally were talking about was I went camping this weekend, and before I went and picked up Will to bring him to our parents while they were camping, and I pick him up and he's on his phone, he's on FaceTime, and he's like, he just shows me the look, and I'm like, who are you? He was talking to this girl on FaceTime. So I was in my head, I'm like, who are you? And we're talking about the Kazoo Kid. If you don't know who the Kazoo Kid here, I don't need to show Phil, but I'll re-show the Kazoo Kid.
We already figured that out.
It's this kid. This schmuck. Anyways, so so I'm like, so yeah, they've been dating since June 29th. And the crazy part here is, I was talking to Phil, and I was like, Phil, this schmuck got a girlfriend 8 years earlier. 8 years before Phil ever did. Sorry. He got a girlfriend, and he's 8 years younger than Phil.
Yes. Young love.
But Phil here, he's like, I have reached an enlightenment, realizing I don't need. It's not a need. It's something I want.
Yeah.
And
It's one of those things, it's nice to have. It's necessary for greater fulfillment in life. It's something that's not necessary. You can still live a great life in single.
Right.
I feel like your options or ability to enjoy life even more increases when you have a mate. I don't deem it necessary for fulfillment.
Right. So anyways,
You can still find your greatest life purpose without a mate.
and so I made the joke that, well, technically to be alive, you have to procreate after by the time you're 25.
Yeah, a joke, yes.
A joke, yes. Phil didn't take it as a joke. He thought I was being serious, but I wasn't.
Well, you kind of are.
I
In a sense, you said it's your definition.
yeah,
You said
but
it's
like-
your definition that you are dead.
Yeah, but I just like to make fun of people.
And yourself.
Well, I'm not 25 yet.
That time is approaching quite quickly.
I've got 4 years.
And what have you done in the last 4 years?
I got a degree. I graduated high school.
Yeah, and how much further are you now than 4 years ago in terms of social relationships with women?
Oh, much further away.
Oh, yeah?
Much further away.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Further
Point
away.
being, my point being,
Are you any
sir,
closer?
you are
to
no
the past
longer
4
rounding the
years?
bases. Sir, you are in outfield on a dark night, wondering where everyone's at.
Where are you exactly? Are you even in the freaking ball
Sir,
field?
I'm not even in the ballpark. I never bought tickets for that. Sir, let me tell you where I'm at.
Oh, boy.
I have reached this enlightenment. I decided never to
Oh.
buy tickets, okay?
Oh, that's what that is.
You are wasting your time in the outfield looking for the base on a dark night. The game's over. The game is long over.
Wait, I'm not,
And you're
I'm
like,
not
how do I
70.
get out of this place?
Well, hold on, I'm not
Meanwhile, I have
40.
come to the realization that there are more important things in life in this game.
Hold on, I'm not 40, all right? Or like a woman who's like 39 and hasn't met anybody and doesn't have any kids, all right? But
Yes, being a part of the game would be amazing, but I'm not going to spend my life trying to get another shot just to watch it fail. I'm wasting my time.
That sounds like depression, my guy.
You can call it whatever the hell you want. I call it enlightenment.
He just wants to be like Newton and die a virgin.
Yeah. I think I've told you about the
Oh,
five
you
greatest
talked
minds.
about this. You put Hitler on that list, so keep
Oh,
that
yeah.
list to yourself.
The,
Shut
the
the hell
five
up and
greatest-
keep that list to yourself.
Newton, Cavendish, Tesla, and Herbert Spencer. That's it.
Right.
There is another name that shall not be named. I'm sure you know who it is.
Oh, we all know who it is. We've had this conversation before.
Yes, there's another great mind.
Great. Oh my god. Oh no. Yes. Phil is striving.
You didn't hear
to
it
be the
come out of my
chancellor.
mouth.
Oh. Right. Phil is striving to be the Chancellor of Germany at this point. So.
I mean, I don't need to be the Chancellor of Germany to reach a noble pursuit in life.
I suppose you could just kill 8 million people on your own. It'd be a bit of a challenge without like a government power, but props to you.
Well, it's not necessary, but
I mean,
does everything in life revolve around killing people to have a great mind to you?
I
People
mean,
to Newton kill.
truth be told, if you can kill 8 million people, you know, let's non-racially here, let's not be biased, just killing 8 million people outright, that without like having government assistance, I'd say you're a pretty great mind. Like, I don't know. I don't even know how you'd even do that. How would one kill?
Only a great mind could could come up with a plan.
I mean, I have a few ideas. You ever heard of the New York water supply?
Does that revolve around the usage in Niagara Falls, or maybe
I don't know. The New York water supply and anthrax.
Supply?
What do you mean? What's my point? Pour some anthrax in the New York water supply. You could literally theoretically wipe out a good portion of the city within a few days.
Doesn't New York get its water? Or no, that's its they still use Niagara Falls for their electricity?
I have no idea. My point is, if you want to kill 8 million people, there you go.
Oh.
Or you could just blow up the Hoover Dam.
Blow it up. Yeah.
You blow up the Hoover Dam and a few other key dams that supply water to Southern California. Once you blow those up, you start killing people very quickly because they don't have any water.
Oh.
I don't know if you'll get to the 8 million mark. You'd probably have to also take out the power.
Oh.
That would kill people.
Just wait till the memes start rolling in, and next thing you know, you're like tier 9.
Tier 9. Well, that does compare. Well, actually, I don't remember. Does the list? Let me see. Let me see if I have the list on my phone. I think I still do. Oh my god. Oh boy. Meme tiers. Here we go. No, it'd be. I mean, okay. So I guess since we're doing this non-racially, it would be tier 10 actually.
Oh.
Oh no, sorry, no, it would be tier 9. Sorry,
Yeah.
If you did it racially, it'd be tier 10. Since it's non-racial, it's tier 9. However, you have to kill 40 million people to ration bread. Shouldn't that be 100 million people? Why do I have that 40 million? It should be 100 million. Whatever.
Was it 100 million?
I thought it was 100 million.
I didn't think it was.
Whatever. Point is,
Sounds way too large.
I mean, truth be told, what you're doing is probably closer to what Truman did, and that'd be a tier 8.
What did Truman do?
He nuked 2 Japanese cities.
Oh, is he that president?
Is he that president? Yes, he was that president. He also had sheep on the White House lawn. My brothers.
Brothers?
The sheep are my brothers. My brothers and sisters.
That explains why you represent Sheeple.
I don't represent Apple. I do own an Apple product, but I don't represent Apple.
Sheeple.
Sheeple are people that follow Apple. Anyways,
People have to follow Apple?
I mean that's what the definition says. It's this not the definition, but it's in the sentence about the definition.
I thought Sheeple was just people that are just mindless.
Well, yeah, that is true. But on one of the websites for the use in a sentence, they literally say people that own Apple are known as sheeple.
To be fair, Apple does have some pretty banger products.
I own an iPad, all right? So I'm guilty. And I would own a smart Apple Watch.
I'd say it's going over the top to get every single Apple product.
Yes. Now,
For
granted,
example, I have wireless earbuds, but they're not AirPods.
I mean, truth be told, Apple AirPods, the Pros anyways, are
Pros are really nice.
yeah.
They're really nice.
My roommate, he lost.
See, I don't really care for luxury.
Right.
To me, what I have is
Utilitarian.
cheap. you say?
Utilitarian.
Yeah. Well, it gets
That's
the job
utilitarian.
done. It gets the job done for a reasonable cost.
That's utilitarian. Nothing.
I mean, as far as my phone goes, it makes, I guess, phone plans, I guess, easier if we all have Apple. To be fair, I kind of like the Apple phone. iPhones are pretty nice.
I mean, their latest iPhone was a masterpiece, so I did like the.
And I have, but their second generation SE, I think, is pretty nice. It's the body of the 6, but the processing power
Of
the A13, which is like the iPhone 11.
yeah. Well, anyways, so back to how did we get onto genocide? Oh, great minds dying of aversion, Will having a girlfriend. There we go. That train of thought. I can't believe I followed that all the way back. So here's the chain of thought
Minds
here.
think alike.
Here's this chain of thought here, folks, if you've missed it. We're from talking about camping to Will having a girlfriend. That made Phil think about dying a virgin. And then that
I made you bring that up.
well, okay. Well,
I brought up baseball.
true. Okay, that made me bring up dying a virgin. That made him then I brought up his list. All right? And then the list of great minds brought up the man who shall not be named, which brought up genocide, which prompted us to get to Sheeple. But why
I
did we,
brought us Apple.
but why are we talking about Sheeple though? I have to remember how we
I said Sheeple as a joke because you fit my definition of Sheeple.
mindless. Oh, right. No, I remember now.
Mindless.
I called Truman's sheep my brothers and sisters.
Yeah, you said because you said he had sheep on the lawn.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, brothers and sisters, sheep. And you said, yeah, my brothers and sisters. I said, you are a sheeple.
Yes. Anyways, so back to Will having a girlfriend. Oh my god. Yeah, apparently she doesn't like me. I don't blame her. I was pretty
She doesn't like you?
No. I was pretty terrible Saturday. I will say. I was pretty terrible all weekend. I was tired, and so I wasn't exactly
Didn't take your meds?
Well, screw off. No, it wasn't that. It was just I was just tired and irritable, and so I wasn't
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Irritable Doc on that trip to go see a pile of rocks out in the west. I mean, it was a pretty spectacular trip. You got him interested, but boy, those car rides, it did a number on his mind.
Oh my freaking!
It did a number on him.
The tornado alone. Oh my god! That whole driving Sunday after the tornado was terrible.
You were literally the tornado, filled with rage.
Oh,
I don't know if you just weren't getting very good sleep at the hotels, but you were quite irritable, my friend.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so I think I was just irritable Saturday,
Oh.
but I mean, I'm not exactly a likable person, right?
No, not at all.
Exactly. We're both gonna agree on this.
Not at all.
Wait, hold on. I'm getting a phone call. Let's shh. Okay, I'm back. That was the apartment place. Apparently, I didn't have my email on there.
Oh.
And the rent is significantly higher than what they had advertised online. So I'm getting I'm going to be paying, oh my god. Yeah, I'm going to have my my dad help me pay for this. I won't be able to afford this, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's more than you make now?
Well, after like utilities and crap, it'll be damn close.
So it seems like that studio is seeming kind of nice now.
Not really, because it's still not that much cheaper. It's gonna save me $100. Actually, I wouldn't even have a washer and dryer then, so I'd have to go pay for that every single damn month.
Oh, you wouldn't have a washer and dryer?
Well, that's what they were calling. They're like, "Do you want to add the washer and dryer for an extra $40 a month?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't feel like buying a washer and dryer." So,
Oh wow.
yeah. So, anyways,
To find a new way to wash your clothes.
what were we talking?
I've never been to a laundromat, so I don't know how cheap that is.
It's like $1.50 per. It's like $1.50 just to wash, and then $1 to dry.
Oh well, then it'd be cheaper to do a laundromat.
Yeah, but
I mean, I do laundry once a week, if that.
yeah, but like I don't want to have to
Yeah, I
drive
should do
to a
it.
laundromat every day, or go walk to a laundromat and waste an hour of my time, if not more.
Well, I guess my point is that there's a laundromat right on Cornerska Highway, and so I can literally just stop there because it's like a mile from my place.
Yeah, I don't want to.
But I mean, I have an in-unit washer and dryer, so it's not necessary.
I prefer just having in unit. I don't want to have to go somewhere for that.
But so do you tell them yes? You're just gonna have your dad help you, or what?
Yeah, I'm just gonna end up having to have my dad help me, but that's whatever. No big deal. I mean, I might
see.
be able to afford it. Like, I think, provided my tax rate stays the same after this new job, I'll get paid like $500 a week. So, I should.
How much of your monthly income are you spending on rent? Don't
It'll
mind me
be
asking.
about. I would suppose after rent and utilities, it'll probably be like 50%.
That's a little steep. I think
Actually-
the recommended is 30, right?
Actually, no, recommended 60.
Oh, for rent should be 60% of your income?
Apparently, yes. That's normal.
No, not what normal. Oh, well, I just remember I watched a lot of like Kevin O'Leary, like
Well, yeah, if you can get your rent that low,
Well,
but,
not
like,
if you can
those
get if you
places
can
don't
get
exist.
No, it's not. No, it means getting a better job.
Oh yeah, that also doesn't exist. So
Kids aren't looking.
you can't get hired starting at anything more than $15 an hour. That just doesn't. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
Unless you had an internship, then they might pay you more. So
But that's
nothing I
really
can do.
low.
There's nothing I can do.
No, I feel like that's really low.
What?
$15 an hour?
Why do you think people are complaining that minimum wage is only like $8?
That's nationwide, yeah.
Yeah, why do you think people are complaining? For the people starting at 15 fresh out of college, the 30,000 is not enough.
Oh,
You see the problem now? Anyway,
I think I could live off of 30. Oh, I think I've spent $8,000 this year.
I mean, truth be told,
Between
I
rent and
probably
food and all
don't
that.
need my
I
dad.
also don't make big purchases. I'm not an Amazon fanatic, okay?
I haven't bought anything on Amazon.
I'm not making monthly purchases on Amazon.
I haven't bought anything on Amazon that wasn't like for somebody else.
Also, they end up paying you back.
Can't even remember. You still haven't paid me back? Actually, it'd be really nice if you did pay me back.
Paid you back for what?
Oh, I thought you said you had. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Point is,
Oh, I was asking you.
what?
You said you've been buying stuff on Amazon for other people.
Yeah.
I said, so what? I'm saying, so what? They probably just pay you back then, right?
No, they were gifts.
Oh.
My dad's birthday. My dad's Father's Day gift.
I
and
follow.
Will's
I follow.
birthday
I
gift.
follow. I follow. I follow now.
Anyways,
I paid you back.
yeah. Anyways, so what was there? What was I? Oh, right. I mean, truth be told, at this new job, I'll be making like $504 per week. So I should be fine. I'll store 20 times 4 is 80, $120 per month into my savings accounts. So I'm making $2,000 a month. Let's just assume that, and half that is rent, so that's $1,000. That leaves me with $1,000 left over. I should be fine. I should be more than fine, realistically, because then that leaves me with $900 left over. But like right now, where I'm working though, I don't make $500 a week. I don't make that. That's the thing.
So with your current job, it's not It's not feasible.
No, because I don't work full time every week.
Oh, so you tell them yes then? Were they? I'm taking it that you got accepted.
No, not yet.
Oh, they haven't accepted you yet. They just wanted to complete your application process.
Yeah, they're sending it off to the credit team today.
Oh, I follow.
For this apartment, and then they'll get back to me. But I don't. I think this will be more manageable if I get this new job. This should be pretty manageable. It'll be. I think I'll end up with a whole paycheck every month left over, a whole $500. Because
that's not including food and all that, or
that is including after food.
It is including food. Okay.
Because it's like I said, $120 goes into my savings. So we have $2,000 a month. Half of that goes to rent. $120 of that goes into my savings. That leaves $880 left over. Which then, let's say, $200 a month for gas. Let's just ballpark that. That leaves me with $640 left. $680, sorry. We can then, that's $180 for food if I spend that much, which is honestly pretty easy to not do that. So
$180 a week
per month.
Oh, that's about what I spent, a little more.
Honestly, I can avoid not spending $180 of food a month.
Actually, no, I bet I'm more around $160 a month.
I don't think I spend that much per month.
But I mean, what kind of meals do you eat? Do you eat like?
I mean, here's the thing though. I don't eat a full meal. I don't eat like a full 3 meals a day. I eat maybe 1 full meal a day.
Oh yeah, we had this conversation.
I have Cheerios in the morning. I have 3 granola bars during work, and then I have some sort of meal at the end of the day, and that's either chicken or chicken nuggets and tater tots.
Those are your calories for the day.
Those are my calories for the day, and then maybe I'll have rice in exchange for chicken or chicken nuggets.
Oh, I see.
Or some days I'll have rice. I'll have just rice before I go to work. No Cheerios. It all varies, but the rice again, that's $1.
I see. So that's all you need.
I really don't spend that much on food. As long as unless I don't like buy snack food like cheese or something.
And I'm kind of curious what it'll be like when Kyle moves out. He'll probably spend like $1 a week, $1 a week on food. All we need is
no.
water.
He'll spend $20 a week on just snacks, but he won't buy any actual food.
Fair enough.
Because he'll go through a bag of chips a day, probably.
Oh.
I don't know what he's gonna do when he moves back. And you're moving back in with your parents for a little while, aren't you?
I think that's the plan.
So when does that happen?
So I can get my back on my feet into July. The 25th is when I have to be out.
Wow. My move-in date, if I get this apartment, is the 14th of August. So I gotta call my landlord to see if I can get an extra 2 weeks. Because I don't want to move back to my dad's for 2 weeks and then move out again. That's just annoying. You know?
When does school start?
Probably a week after that. Maybe more.
Going by how informal your thing is, I mean, I guess it's kind of formal. I don't know. Might be able to get that to pass.
I think it'll pass.
I mean, the whole deal was just the school year was the issue.
Yeah.
Well,
supposedly. I don't think they'll, as long as I show them, like, hey, I have another lease signed, I am leaving.
I think it should be good.
That's my big deal. I'm not going to call them until I get this place.
Yeah.
Once I get it, then I can be like, can I have an extra 2 weeks?
Yeah.
That's my plan. Anyways, I have no idea how much I'm going to cut out from when I was on the phone. New segment time. Second segment, the news.
New. There's not new. It's not a plural. I'm sorry.
All right. Share your screen. Show us the article here.
So, like you, unlike you, I found something, but unlike you, I did not find. Restoring touch and nerves damaged by injury.
Fascinating.
So, this is what is really interesting to me. So they have not finished. They're still their work seems very promising with their technology, and what they want to do is to find a way to put sensors at the tip of your finger, and then link that functioning nerve cells to functioning nerve endings nearby. There's a hope to bypass damaged nerve cells. And then, in theory, if you could bypass that signal, you could still send a feeling of touch. The brain could then try to interpret. And so they still need to do clinical trials and all that. But it's just saying that their technology that they have developed seems very promising.
So is it just like one sensor, or is like the sensor like encompass your finger? Because like one little sensor is going to be kind of annoying. You've only got one spot of touch.
Yeah, so that I'm not totally sure on, but I mean, I'm kind of curious to know whether or not it's going to be like a glove thing, because I think it kind of depends on how much is lost. Is your whole finger gone, or like whether or not it's just you burned part of it, or it's because it also depends on how you lost your touch too. Because if it's a part of the brain that's not working well, then this won't work.
Right.
Because it involves the part of your brain that can signal pain and feeling and all that still being fully functional.
I feel like we're at a race right now between artificial sensors and regrowing nerves. And like which one's gonna win?
Oh yeah. Because I mean I think we're approaching the day when, we're getting closer to the day. I think it's still probably like another 50 years away. In my opinion, 50 years away before we'll have stem cell research advanced enough to the point that we can regrow like full-on limbs.
And a whole body is the dream.
A full body. Because I mean, like, in theory we can do it. We've done it on rats, but we've never encompassed clinical trials of that sort of magnitude.
We've regrown an entire rat before?
I know grown like ears on rats.
Oh, yeah.
It's not functional. And I mean, we've regrown body parts on rats, but that's about it. We haven't like regrown like an entire arm on a person.
I think the part
My knowledge.
really
And so that I think we're 50 years away before we reach that sort of magnitude.
I mean, I think we could be there within sooner if they would just let us do the proper research here in the U.S. instead of having to do it in some third world country where they don't have morals.
Yeah, that's the big thing is morals.
Because, like, I mean, if we did it here in the U.S., I feel like it would.
I mean, for the longest time, I think it was 2008, we were unable to. Stem cell research kind of came to a halt because the only way to do it was to kill an embryo. When a mother has a kid, in its first day, really, the cells are stem cells that can really be turned into, they're universal stem cells.
Right.
They've not been designated any specific purpose. Those cells you can use to create a bone, create a brain, heart, a liver, whatever. But the moment that you decide to path that cell, you kill the embryo.
Right.
And so that was the big moral dilemma, is that you're basically just killing a child. You can make a new limb for a person who's already living.
It's not a child.
But then
Cells.
what?
It's not a child. It's a collection of cells. Jesus.
And so, but now we have stem cell research advanced to the point that we can forget. I don't recall how the process works now, but I have a way to get around that.
We can harvest stem cells?
Yeah,
Interesting.
I believe so. It's cutting edge technology, but I believe, yes, we can harvest stem cells currently.
If we could just like grow them in a lab without them just mutating and destroying telomeres.
But that's the thing. I think it's still in its early stages of development,
Right.
which is why, in my opinion, we're still 50 years away.
I mean, as long as I can 50. Oh, that's too far. That's too far. I need a new body before
I wanted
I'm 80.
to give a long magnitude because I don't feel comfortable saying 20 years. I feel like that's.
Right.
I think that's too close.
I hope it's sooner than that. I don't know if I'll make it to 70. You know, I need.
Well, I mean, I want something. I want something that said. Musk was saying that at his current rate, he's gonna die before humans go to Mars.
Oh, that's rough.
At our current rate of scientific development and space achievements.
NASA says 2035. Musk isn't even that old. He'll live to be 2030.
Yeah, I mean, they say things. They said we're going to be back on the moon by 2020.
The NASA's latest development is 2024.
Yeah, see, they keep pushing it back.
But it's a matter. Well, the problem was the funding. But the
always
Biden,
more money.
But since they have the Biden administration until 2024, the Biden administration has guaranteed the funding. So they just have to get it done before the administration changes hands again. Either way,
They want to put a man on the moon or a probe on the moon?
a woman on the moon.
A woman on the moon.
A woman and a man. Preferably a woman, then a man.
Yeah.
That's their goal.
I mean, they could do both. I mean, it's not a solo. Are they gonna set up a solo flight to the moon?
Well, no, it'll be a woman and a man, and she'll be the first one to take the first steps, and then it'll be the man. I think they already even have their astronauts picked,
Fair enough.
and they're training
Yeah.
them.
My point is, they just keep pushing it further and further back.
Well, the problem was
So I think the whole
funding.
because I think the whole thing was that I wanted to have a base on the moon too, as like a pit stop
For Mars, yeah.
before they could go to Mars.
But that's based off
So-
of NASA's tech. We don't
That was
need.
NASA.
We don't need. Based off of what Elon's developing, we don't need a base on the moon.
It'd make it easier.
Yes, but Elon, because of the way Elon's designed the Starship, we don't need A moon.
You're going to use a gravity assist from the moon?
His plan is
That's also another big thing. Is that you kind of have a window of opportunity when you do this. Otherwise, it no longer becomes.
right.
It's no longer efficient because if you have to travel distance from Earth to Mars going across the solar system by the sun, no. It's easiest to do when Earth and Mars will be at their closest approach.
Right.
And so you want to time that so that way when they're at their closest approach, you'll be there.
Once
you'll
every 2
literally
years.
be there. Yes. Is it once every 2 years?
Yeah.
I never knew how fast it is.
I'm pretty sure it's once every 2 years. It's pretty often.
Oh, never mind then.
Because
Even
Earth
then,
and
even then,
Mars
that means
have
if
very
when
similar
you.
orbital times.
My point is that when you miss your chance, do you wait 2 years? Because you don't want to rush.
Right.
You don't want to rush
But
and skip
that's not what I'm
protocol.
getting at, though. Well, I wasn't getting at like that. What I was getting at is that the Starship, it will basically go up with minimal fuel, just enough to orbit Earth, or maybe orbit the moon, whatever.
Mhm.
And
It
then,
needs enough to escape gravitational attraction of the Earth.
right, but they're going to give it just enough fuel to get into orbit. That's it. And then they're going to send up a starship that's just fuel. It will then rendezvous with the one that has the people on it, fill it up completely, because that means that they don't need us that big of a booster anymore to get the whole thing into space.
Yes,
The whole thing
okay.
can be smaller. So it's like having a third stage without having a attached third stage.
Oh, okay.
It gets around
okay.
the need for a possible third stage. It also enables them to send one ahead of them that has fuel. That way they can get to Mars and potentially refuel in orbit before landing, or once they land, take off, refuel in orbit, and then go back.
Hmm?
That's what the Starship system allows, is for them to refuel in orbit.
Hmm?
And that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because like those other systems, they just have to like gravity slingshot, and it's a lot slower. But if you can propel yourself there faster, with propellant, even though I know that's not how orbital mechanics work, doesn't matter. You can just get yourself going faster.
Yeah.
But you've seen Invincible. I really question that Mars mission. They got there in like 2 days.
I haven't seen the last two.
Oh, the Mars one's before the last two.
Was it?
Yeah. Have you not seen the Mars one?
I don't know. Describe more.
So
I watched it a long time ago.
it has the face eaters.
Keep going.
So he has to hitch a ride with the shuttle looking thing, and that he's there to just protect them. But once they get to Mars, spoilers. Once they get to Mars, he takes a nap, but then wakes up, realizes he can't find the astronauts. Well, the astronauts went underground and met the leader of Mars. And the leader of Mars, he has to kill them because of the face eater, like parasite things. Because if they took control of the humans, it would lead to the destruction of Mars and Earth.
See. Watched it a long time ago. I don't recall that.
Well, anyways, their Mars trip is like they get there in 2 days.
Really?
It seems like it, yeah. And I'm like, how in the ever-loving heck did they do that? I was talking to Rooster about this. They were traveling at like 1,000 kilometers a second or something stupid.
I mean, Voyager 1 is doing 36,000 miles an hour.
Right, but this was like 1,000 kilometers.
Here, let's look. The shortest distance. Mars. 33 point. Minimum distance is 33.9 million.
And to get
This is
there
miles.
and to get there in 2 days.
9 times 10 to the 6. Yes. We'll say 2 days.
Yeah,
Uh,
it kind of looks
So-
that way.
4 times 2 is 48 hours. Times 60 minutes? Oh. 48 hours. Oh, yeah, that was divided by 48.
I did all the math, but I don't remember it.
Let me get my calculator.
I can do the math right now. How many miles is it? Do. There's that many minutes. There's that many seconds. 60.
This is 700,000 miles an hour.
That's faster than the speed of light, isn't it?
Oh.
What's speed of light?
Speed of light is 1 million
Oh, that's right.
miles an hour. No. 700 million. The
700.
reason why I know it is because the speed of light is Mach 1 million.
Oh.
So the speed of sound is roughly 700 miles an hour.
So, anyways, so they get to
So
Mars,
the light is 700 million.
but
This is 700,000.
just 700,000 miles per hour. Despite the fact, let's ignore the fact that the acceleration to get to that point would kill you.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because, like, what would that... Let's assume you accelerate 9.8 meters per second.
I mean, what do cryogenic chambers do? Do they get around that? Because I mean, you're like in a block of ice.
Well, I don't know. No, that's like the movie version of a cryogenic chamber.
Yeah, but if you're in a block of ice, I feel like
But that's the movie version. A real version is you're not frozen. I mean, not like a block of ice, but you are frozen. Your guts are still gonna be able to slosh around.
wait, really? I thought it was like you were frozen, like you were like a icicle.
I don't. But okay,
A
yeah,
human
but
icicle.
like, there's empty space in your body unless they fill that up with the antifreeze, which keeps your organs in place. Then yeah, I guess.
I thought the only air was space was your lungs.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's not.
Body's
not
filled with
air,
fluid.
But like, there's your organs move
Fluid.
past each. Your organs can move past each other.
Yes, there's a lot of fluids.
But like, unless
Wow.
they freeze those solid, those fluids, and that's enough to hold your organs in
I
place.
don't know much about the biomechanics of
The human body.
cryogenic freezing, but
Yeah.
I'd be curious to know.
That's what I mean, but either way,
Well, how fast did?
it would take longer to freeze them and wake them up than it would for the trip at that point.
How fast did the Parker probe get?
I don't.
Remember that thing back in 2018?
Yeah, I remember the Parker Space Probe. I don't remember how fast it's
It went. How fast did that go? Because I feel like that did something.
going to do. It's going to go fast.
It already did. Oh well, when it's done with its mission,
Yeah.
it's getting closer and closer. Top speed at 200 kilometers a second. 200 kilometers a second is its top speed.
That ain't
let's
making it
do-
to Mars in 2 days.
Kilometers per second, 2 miles per hour.
That's not getting you to Mars in 2 days. And we went
It's like 2/3 of the way there. It's 440. It's 400,000 miles an hour.
about half. Right, but it's going to take it like 6 years to accelerate to that.
Yeah, but
You'll be to Mars before then.
my point
You'll
is,
be at Jupiter by then.
I don't know about Jupiter, but
You damn
my
close.
point is,
It only took Voyager a few years to get to Jupiter. Like, it only took Voyager like 6 years to get to Jupiter, and it's not even going that fast.
It's going pretty damn fast. It's going like
The Parker Space Probe will be the fastest thing humans have ever
I told
made.
you about it. It's going 10 miles a second.
Yeah, but the Parker Space Probe will be the fastest thing humans have ever made.
Will be, yes.
And, you know, it took... But yeah,
No, I always
think about it.
imagine.
It took Voyager
what
6 years.
if it does a gravity? What if we send it out? We have it do a gravity assist around the sun at its top speed. Sling it off. Another gravity assist around Jupiter. Sling it off again. It'll be
What? Where are we going with it? You've already gone halfway across the solar system. Actually, you've already gone almost all the way across the solar system at that point. Where are we going?
We're going to Alpha Centauri because right now it'll take Voyager like 40,000 years to get to Alpha Centauri.
Still, though.
See if they can cut that down a bit.
Yeah, to 1,000 years?
Yeah. Within human lifetime.
Within human...
So I feel like 40,000 years from now.
Could you imagine waking up 40,000 years from now? Like, you just wake up at Alpha Centauri, right? There's nothing there. You've only got...
I was trying to imagine what it would be like to wake up on Earth 40,000 years from now.
Well, I mean, okay, let's think about this. First, let's think about these astronauts. Actually, because I had this exact question I proposed to somebody at work. Similar question. So let's think about this. You wake up at Alpha Centauri, right? You've only probably got like a month's worth of rations, right?
Yeah.
All right, and then you get frozen again to get sent back to Earth, and that's probably going to take 100,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
You get back, you are now almost 200,000 years old.
Oh.
And there won't be a human civilization.
Oh. No.
Earth will be wild again. If humanity... Actually, humanity might not even be on the Earth in 200,000 years. We'll probably leave.
That's my point.
We'll send these people out. Send them out. And then we'll, like, while they're gone, we'll develop something faster. Go to Alpha Centauri. Beat them there. And, like, welcome them. Welcome!
Yeah.
That's like,
Welcome, you made it.
you beat us here! Well, yeah, I mean, we had 40,000 years to develop a warp drive, which is plenty of time. And actually, I think what science says, like, 1,000 years is like, was what they're predicting to have a warp drive.
Once again, a prediction.
Right. I mean, some say 100 years before we have a warp drive. But 1,000 years, let's say we develop a warp drive. Okay, so we've had 44,000 years after that, 43,000 years after that to do whatever we want. You know, we've developed a warp drive so we can get all the way across the galaxy in a few days.
Oh.
You know, we can go to Andromeda, you know, in a month.
Oh, I just remembered with the other. I'll have to make this another new fourth segment. You're going to talk to me about the elements.
Oh. Damn, there's too many things to talk about.
That'll be in the next week.
Yeah, you'll have to remind me.
Oh.
Anyways, so yeah. So I asked this question at work. Let's just so we can get to the end of end of this segment here. We are running out of time. Well, not running out, but we might run out of time if we keep going at this pace. I asked the question: would you if somebody came to you today and said, I can freeze you and wake you up in the year 2100, would you take it? If I came to you and I said, I can freeze you and you will wake up in the year 2100.
See, the thing is, I always kind of would like to be the old wise man in the year 2100. And he was like, live through all the drama of the previous years. It could talk about it. Now, it's always fun to talk to old people about, what the 30s and 20s were like,
Yeah.
Or like what the 40s. Because, our grandfather could talk about the 40s and 50s. He was born in 1930.
Right.
And so, I always thought it would be kind of cool, to talk about, what life was like. Because, like, the 50s, just seems like that's 70 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago. And I always thought it'd be kind of cool, to talk about, oh, yeah. Back when COVID was riding high,
But think about the year...
we had our own shit show of problems.
Think about the year 2100, though. And I suspect by the year 2100, you'll be able to get a new body.
Body, yeah.
We'll have immortality by then.
Well, it's basically a ship of Theseus problem. Because I feel like basically what they're going to do is they're going to get to the point where they're going to have an AI that can think like you. Makes decisions like you. It'll have your memories. It'll be an AI that thinks like you. So basically, in a sense, you're kind of alive, but not really. You're basically dead. There's just a machine that's thinking like you on the Earth.
So, okay, here's the thing. They do this on...
You're gone. You're dead. Okay.
They do this on Invincible.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it because I think it is one of the last 2 episodes. So... But they talk about transferring consciousness.
But in my mind, that's kind of where we would be heading in terms of immortality.
Well, let's say that we don't. Let's say yes, we do that, but we also perfect body technology, gene editing technology, and all that, and so we just grow you a new body, and we transfer your consciousness.
Yeah, but my point is it's a ship of Theseus. It's not really you.
True.
It's someone that looks like you and thinks like you, but you're dead.
I mean, the question will be, if the transferring process destroys your old brain, destroys you.
It's a brain that thinks like you, has the memories of you, but they're not original memories. They're reconstructed memories.
We were talking about... Okay. Well, I think this would be easier than transferring consciousness. What if we come up with a way to repair brain tissue? Think about it this way, okay? Your brain, you have these memories in there. And truth be told, once you live past 100, you're not going to remember everything anyways. So, what if we implement something, some way, that allows your brain to repair itself? If a cell starts to get worn out, it replicates it and its neural connections, and then kills the old cell. It's still you. You're still going to have the same memory. You might forget some things, like memories that were there that you forgot about, but you could still technically access them. But once those neurons regenerate and you get new neurons, it's forgotten because those neurons forget that pathway. But like if it's something like breathing or like your birth date, you'll always remember your birth date or where you went to high school or who you're married to. That kind of stuff.
That's the thing. The thing is that I'm trying to wrap my mind around it. Okay. Like, because to me, it's a problem of whether or not the brain is whether or not memories are physical or not. Because how I think about it, let's say you have 2 points, right? And you need to connect the distance. Let's say that the road, the highway, or whatever between these 2 points is fading away. So now you need to construct a new bridge. Basically, you destroy the old bridge. Okay. Now, if memories are physical, This point still exists, and basically you're just creating a new highway between these 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
But if they aren't, I wonder if creating these 2 new points is just a way to override the space that is already there with a new memory. You're creating a new pathway for your brain to now insert a new memory. Whatever had existed there, now that there's a new highway, it's gone. Whatever had existed there previously was destroyed along with the highway in the recreation process. And so now basically you just have a new location to insert a new memory.
Okay.
And that's the thing that I don't know.
And
I don't know if when you reconstruct
we'll
neural
know.
pathway, if you are reconstructing an entire new location ready to take place, or if you're simply reconstructing the pathway to old.
By 2100 we'll know.
Yes. We should know, yes.
By the year 2100 we'll know. But either way, I don't think it's... The only scary part is the day that you lose the information, but you regain it. If your theory is correct. That's the scary... That'll be the scariest day of your life.
It's basically like saying memories never die. You only lose the thought, the pathway to them. And if we can reconstruct pathways, you can literally remember everything that ever happened in your life.
Right. But we can't.
And I'm not sure if that's the case.
I don't think we can. But
I'm not sure if it's just giving you access to remember more. And so now you can just store more memories.
I don't think it will. That's why I'm saying.
Because we still don't...
So here's my theory. Here's how this would work. One day, you're going to forget your birthday. Right?
Yes.
You're just going to forget it. Because the neurons that store, that will be too...
It's not like forget. It's like it becomes weaker and weaker and weaker. And
But no. But
you can remember what you did yesterday.
No, here's the thing: is yes, it's gonna become weaker and weaker and weaker. But somebody's gonna ask you, "What's your birthday?" and it's gonna get rerouted to a new neuron that's not dying. That's my point. Because it'll do that. Because obviously your brain's not gonna reroute you're not gonna reroute it to a dead neuron or a dying neuron. It's gonna reroute it to a new one.
Hold up.
So you're not gonna forget.
Are you saying the factual information
Yes.
of when your birthday is? Or you say, okay, because I wasn't sure if you were describing, like, let's say your current birthday. You can remember your last birthday.
Right. No.
Years from now, the details of this birthday start to fade.
I'm talking about the date. Because here's what's going to happen. Someone's going to ask you, what's your birthday? And you're going to pause for a minute and be like, I don't know. And then you'll pull out your wallet and your ID and be like, oh, I was born this day. That will be the scariest day of your life. Because that will be the day that your brain has started to forget old memories. Because here's the thing, right? As you get older and older and older, you know, we're talking 20, 50, 20. We're talking 120, 150 years old.
Yeah.
Things that happened 100 years ago aren't going to be relevant compared to what happened the last year.
Yes.
And so your
birthday is relevant every year.
Right. Well, the year you're born, though. The year you're born. That'll be the crucial one. That's what'll happen. They're like, oh, mine's this date. What year? Oh. You'll forget.
Possibly,
You'll feel like you forgot, but you didn't. Like you actually, that memory is gone.
Okay, continue. Get on with your point. Where were we going with this?
So what'll happen is those 100 years worth of memories will be lost because the new technology could regenerate neurons, but those neurons don't have the same connections. Now breathing and walking and that kind of stuff, since you do that every single day, that happens all the time, and that's multiple neurons, unless that whole section of your brain dies,
continue.
That's not going to stop. But something like your birthday, that's probably only a few neurons.
Okay.
Which means you could feasibly forget it completely.
Okay.
But like,
Where are you going with this?
you're gonna forget. You're gonna forget all these old memories. You're gonna
Yes.
forget all of them. So your life will just be like a 20-year span or 30 year,
Okay.
whatever your brain deems as the most valuable information. And you're just gonna know your birth date. Like, I was born in the year 2000 on this date in April. And then they'll be like, oh, so what's your earliest memory? Well, I remember the year 2100. I don't remember that 100 years. I remember nothing about my childhood. I know I went to this school. I know I went and got this degree.
Yes.
I know I got married this date. I know I met my girlfriend this date. But you don't remember any experiences. Because those dates, those are written down. Those are known events. You can go and recall them
Yes.
in physical format. And you'll remember, like, videos and pictures that you've seen, but you're not going to remember, like, the sensation you felt that day.
Yes.
You won't have any true memories of anything, say, older than 20 years.
That was the point I was trying to make earlier. But the point I was trying to make earlier is that when you have this new AI thinking.
It's not an AI. I'm not saying it's an AI. It's your actual brain. It's the same brain, but
so you're saying
so the neurons don't die, and so now
so,
the neurons
so you're
regenerate.
saying that when we can regenerate highways, you're saying that the points disappear and we can write over them.
Yeah.
You don't fall into the camp that the memories are still there and reconstructing a highway does not reconstruct a highway to that necessary point in time.
No. Once that neuron dies, or once the brain deems that neuron is no longer functional enough, like, say it starts to switch on and off slower than the other neurons, it stops using it and tells the immune system, hey, get rid of this neuron. We'll make a new one. It's whatever that neuron was storing, it's gone now.
What I think would be really cool, though,
but like, here's the thing:
is that in order to support the theory that places still exist, I wonder if that would imply if we could have some powerful brain scanning technology, could scan neuron by neuron, atom by atom, and reconstruct an entire brain. That brain should be able to think exactly like you, because it would have all your current memories
but it's not
and thought
you.
patterns, and it should have all your memories. It should remember everything you've ever done.
But
otherwise, it'd be like creating a blank slate memory, a blank slate brain.
it is creating a blank slate brain. Because, yes, it still has all of this information.
No. I'm saying memories are no
not
longer there.
you.
It's basically creating a brain that has no memory stored on it. It's like creating a flash drive. No memories are on it.
Yeah.
That's the camp you fall into. You're creating basically an empty flash drive.
Yep.
The other theory is that you're creating a flash drive that's completely full.
But that's
because
not
memories
you.
are physical.
The problem is that's not you.
It's a hypothesis. Yes, it's a hypothesis. It's not technically you, but it would have all your memories and all your current thought patterns.
Doesn't matter. It's not you. This other one is
My
just.
point is,
still
but
you.
that's not my point. That's not my point. It's not the point of whether or not it's you or not. It's the point of whether or not it's an empty flash drive or whether or not it's a full flash drive.
I would be more comfortable with an empty flash drive than a full flash drive. Because a full flash drive, well, either way, I'm going to forget those anyways. So I'd rather it just be empty. I'd rather it just be empty, and I know that this is still me.
So that means that there's nothing unique about a neuron.
No.
Every neuron
Not at that point.
does not have some intrinsic detail atomically that makes it unique.
Beforehand it did.
No. I'm saying that your current brain, take two memories, two different neurons. at the atomic level, is there anything structurally, intrinsically different?
Why
Between-
would there be?
Well, I wonder if there is. Because if there is, then that means memories are physical. They have a physical meaning. It's hard to think about. It's
Either way, my problem is either way, you're not going to remember 200 years worth of information. They talk about this in Doctor Who. There's this girl who gets immortality because she was ingested with some nanobots. And the nanobots constantly repair her. And so
no, but you're missing the point. You're missing the point. The point I'm trying to make is that when you forget memories, all that's happening is that the connections are dying out.
Right, but we're deleting whole neurons here, so those connections are gone.
My point is that if we could save how those neurons are constructed. If memories are physical, we could reconstruct an entire new memory.
Yeah, but what is you? That's the question. The real question is, what are you? Are you a collection of memories? Because in that case, well, then it won't. There's no way to transfer what is you into another body. Unless there's a collection of neurons that we can just pick out, put those into the new brain, and then transfer those to another, let those then get copied into this new brain, right? It's the same neurons, okay? These neurons then, those pathways get copied into a new set of neurons. Those old neurons that were a part of your old body die. But now, those same pathways are still saved. You have no idea that it happened. You know, you have no idea that the old you died.
Oh, that's interesting.
If we can find the collection of neurons that make up you.
That would be interesting.
If those are a thing. I don't think they're a thing. I want them to be a thing, because if they are a thing, that makes immortality super easy. But if they aren't a thing, that makes immortality way more difficult, and we have to figure out how to regenerate neurons.
Could you recognize yourself? See, it's very interesting. Mm-hmm. Because you go your whole life growing, changing. Compare your pictures year by year, you've changed, but yet you always say it's you.
Yeah.
You've never once called yourself someone new. I mean, that's more like an identity. That's more like an identity crisis. That's more like an identity crisis. But my point is
truth
that
be told, I can't recognize.
You would recognize that at one point in your life that was you.
I can't recognize. Oh yeah, maybe at one point, but now I can't recognize baby pictures of me. I can't tell if that's me or my brother. Me and my brother look the same. From 2 to 3, from 0 to 3. We looked the same. I was a little chubbier, but we looked relatively the same. I can't tell the difference. My parents can. I can't.
No, that's what I want to know. That would be cool. Is if there was a way to take some memory out of you, turn it into a picture that has never been taken, show it to you and ask you to identify who that is. If you could recognize who that is. Because, obviously you've looked in the mirror since you were a toddler.
Yeah.
You don't have a picture of every instant you were alive.
No.
You only recognize baby pictures that you believe to be you because you were told they are you.
Yeah. So
my point is,
take an instance.
My point is, could you recognize you, a random picture, 10 years ago? Or,
So somewhere in my brain, there's a memory of me looking...
There's a memory of you looking at yourself in the mirror.
When I was 5.
You were, say, 5. If there was a way to take that memory out, turn it into a digitalized picture, print it or process it, show you that picture, and say, who is this? Is this some random kid? Is this a family member? Or is this you? I don't think you would... And let's say you cropped out the background, okay? Cropped it at the background and just put a gray background behind it.
I don't think you'll be able to tell.
I don't think you would. Yeah.
I think you're like, that might be my brother. I mean, especially me. I might be like, that looks like.
I don't think you could recognize that's you.
I might say it's my brother. Mike, is that my brother or me?
But see, the point is that you're comparing that face to faces you know.
Yeah, I'm not comparing it to mine.
Not comparing it to yourself. No, you're because you're told, okay, do I know this face? Let me cross-reference this with every face I've ever seen.
Now, if you took my hand from 10 years ago, I could tell you that's my hand.
Really?
Yeah, because I know the distinctive markers of my hand.
Know it like the back of your hand, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Because the Mythbusters, they tested that. Can you identify
Really?
my hand? You can't.
You can?
People can't.
I can't.
They can't. They don't. Nobody pays attention to their hands. However, I know what my hands look like. Because my hands have distinct markers, and I know that's my hand. For instance, my left hand has a triangle of 3 moles. You see that?
Mm.
And then on my right hand's a little more difficult. But, see, that's the thing. People don't have moles on their hands. They don't.
I have one.
It's very rare. Moles on hands apparently are very rare. Just like moles on your face are very rare. I forgot I have a mole on my face. I don't remember where it is. It's on. I think it's in here somewhere. It's right here. Yeah, I think. There. Yeah, I have a mole on my face right there. Moles on your face and on your hands, they're very rare. So that's one way to distinguish yourself from somebody else. Anyways, so then especially on the underside.
I don't have a mole on the underside.
I have a mole on the underside. See that?
Yeah.
And then also my left hand, I have one. Right there. So I know what my hands look like. I don't know how it's bleeding. I just looked at my hand after eating my sandwich. I'm like, oh, I'm bleeding. What do you know? Anyways, we should probably move on to the third segment. This is a very cool segment we talked about here. That was a very good article you picked.
Should we skip this and move on to digging a hole?
No, well, the comments will be quick.
Oh, okay.
1.17 Tree Farm, Let's Play 51. Chris Chin commented, nice vid, I found it researching Let's Plays. It's a bot. Good luck, blah, 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 blah. It's a bot. And then I think there is one on the regular Dr. Sheep. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if we read this one on the last podcast. But anyways, Atheist Crusader commented, this was neither an unboxing nor a review. Good job. Oh, this was on my Luciteria Sciences display case unboxing review. Atheist Crusader commented, this is neither an unboxing nor a review. Good job. Write a more accurate title next time, or portray your title accurately if you want more viewers, or don't. Very backhanded. And I commented, sir, there was a box, and I opened it. Therefore, a box. Now, your review comment, it has some ground to stand on, but not much. It also doesn't matter anymore as this item is discontinued, so. There was a box. I opened the box it came in. That's an unboxing. I don't know what more you want in an unboxing, but that's an unboxing. Now,
you do a review on said product?
I talked about it. I kind of mentioned the review part. He has a point. I kind of just talk about my element collection, really. So he has a point. But, like, how are you supposed to review a glass case? Oh, it looks nice. It's kind of it has a cheap liner in it, but. He has a point, though, on the review. He has a point. Anyways. So, future of the channel, right?
Future of the channel.
Well, that's the third segment. We're pretty rough right now.
I thought it was his comments.
Well, we read the comments, then we talk about the future of the channel as well.
Oh.
It's pretty rough right now. I'm just... I wanted to have actually, like, gotten some more, like... I wanted to work on the Minecraft stuff more. The main channel, it is what it is. We're doing what we're doing. There's nothing... We're making videos. Nothing's really changed. It's just that I'm trying to get into a rhythm. And it's hard because work has just been so inconsistent. My weekends are inconsistent. Once I can get into a rhythm, that's the problem. I've just been out of a rhythm. I've been out of a rhythm since December. Once I get back into a rhythm of making videos, it'll be fine. Like this, I am supposed to make a video this weekend. I didn't. I still need to make it though. I'll probably double up videos the following weekend. I'll preserve the meat and do the pickle video. I'll double it up. But I don't want to do that though. I want to do one video per weekend. But right now, every other weekend I should say. It's just really difficult right now. However, if I get this new job, it'll be I say this, but in theory, it'll be a lot more consistent. I won't be working every weekend. I'll have the weekends off, which means I'll also be...
Is it like 9 to 5 Monday to Friday?
Yeah. Except I'll have to work like, I think, 10 Saturdays out of the year.
What sort of working environment are you in? An office or...
No.
Oh, no, you're in a truck.
I'll be in a truck. I'll be in a fertilizer plant. I'll also be... the crappiest job will be cleaning out the pit. So at a co-op or whatever, there's a pit where grain... So when they transfer grain out of a grain bin, so when you transfer grain out of a semi-truck, it goes into a pit, and then it gets transferred to an auger, and then into a grain bin. And this pit, well, you don't get all the grain every time. And it builds up this rotten, nasty stuff. And my job will be to go and clean that sometimes. That'll probably be like a once or twice a year thing, I would assume. And I don't know why they don't just hire somebody. By the way, I'll have to help, probably. But I'm in the agronomy section, which will be in the fertilizer, so I'll have to clean out a fertilizer auger, but I don't know why I'd have to go and help over on the grain side of things. That's not... But I don't know. I don't know anything, so... It won't be the greatest working conditions, no, you're right. They're going to be crap. But... I gotta get out of where I'm working now. I don't like this inconsistency. It's killing my YouTube abilities. Because nothing's consistent. It's just making my ability to schedule... What are you gonna say something?
I said no, I see. Continue.
Yeah, it's just killing my morale and stuff. Because, like... One night I close. The next day I'm there the whole day. Then I get home, like one day I have all day to work on something. The next day I'm working 9 to 4. And it's like, I can't do that. And it's just, nothing's a rhythm. There's no rhythm to it. There's no consistency. So I can't just be like, I'm going to do the Minecraft Let's Play this time, this day. Or I'm going to play Minecraft for this many hours this day. I don't have that. Because every damn day is different. Like tomorrow, my manager told me I might not even have you come in tomorrow. So now it's like, well, do I plan to play Farming Sim all day so that I have a good Let's Play? Or what do I do?
Yep.
I'm going to force myself. Like, tomorrow, I'm going to sit down. After I go and pick up my plate stickers from my dad, and have him do my cosign in the event that I don't pass the credit system. I'm going to What was I talking? Right. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna come home and I'm just gonna sit down. I'm gonna play Farming Sim for like 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours. That should provide enough time for me to get some more progress in and make a good episode. In theory. Although to be fair, I'm kind of thinking about stopping the Minecraft Let's Play. Not the Minecraft Let's Play. Sorry, the Farming Sim Let's Play. Just because they're coming out with a new Farming Simulator in November. And I don't want to be burned out when the new game comes out.
Can we talk about this hole?
I know you want to talk about the whole, but we got to make this at least 10 minutes, so it's at least a decent highlight. Anyways, so I'm just really debating whether or not I want to stop it. But if I'm going to stop it, I gotta fill in that time with something else.
I see.
And that's going to be more Minecraft. Problem is, sometimes I have all kinds of time and ambition to grind out a lots of Minecraft, and I could do 2 Let's Plays a week. Other times I don't. Other weeks I just don't have time. And it's this inconsistency it's just causing problems. And once I can get rid of the inconsistency in my weekends and in my normal day-to-day life, I can select times of the week that I'm going to sit down and play Minecraft.
Yeah.
And once I do that, we can then do a podcast every other Monday night or Sunday night, whatever. And then we could also do, we could maybe finally get to do those philosophy videos.
Yes.
The philosophy live streams, I should say.
Yeah.
None of that can
I mean, today would have been a great one.
Yeah, would have. Yeah, would have been great. That whole section, the whole second segment. That was a good. That was a good news topic. You knew that I was going to go off on that, didn't you?
Oh, I don't know. I picked it because I liked it.
Yeah, but you also kind of figured that maybe I'd probably go off on it.
I mean, I figured it was something simple that you could talk about.
Yeah.
But
nerves are.
You also kept talking about like the whole. I mean, you were thinking the whole 2100 year thing. I mean, I was. Because, I mean, there's certain parts of it I was trying to talk about different things.
Yeah.
You were just focused on the whole, like, you're dead, basically. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's fascinating that if we could build a sensor, that'd be crazy. That'd be really cool. Would make losing a limb a lot less traumatic. But,
it's not the end of the world.
No, it's not.
Well, I mean, currently it's not really the end of the world. We still have robotic arms, but I mean, something that could, put feeling back into it.
Yeah. It's not just a. There's so many scenes I can remember from like movies and stuff that make it seem so horrible. One of them is from Doctor Who, the Cybermen.
Oh yeah.
These brains get put into this metal body, and they just describe it as cold and feelingless.
Yeah.
And that sounds terrifying and horrible. Anyways, so yeah, as for the future, it's a little, I'm on rocky road right now. Once I can get things more cemented in, like I'm actually going to get this apartment, I'm going to actually get this new job, things will finally be more cemented, and I can finally start making a proper schedule again for videos, and I can hop back on that grind, and maybe we could start seeing some more growth. Maybe. It's also July. Our channel never does well in July. Our channel does well during the school year, because, well, that's when people need to watch our videos. So
Yes.
we do very well during the school year, so. Which is weird, because most YouTube channels do well during the summer, not during the school year. We are...
It's just that our content is more suitable for kids in school.
Yep.
Stay in school, kids.
Stay in school. Now,
We, however, we are long done with that path of education.
long done. We just finished. I was thinking about I was thinking the day I was sweeping the floors at Menards, and I was thinking about I oh my god, I can't. It's still the same day. Holy crap, this has been a long day. I'm going to see my friend to go watch Black Widow, and I'm gonna if I had this conversation with her, I'd be like, yeah, so you're still in school, and she's like, yeah, you're out of it. What's that like being done with school? And I'll be like,
it hasn't hit me yet.
well, it feels like I'm on summer vacation, and every once in a while, I get this pit of stress in my stomach, and it's just
Stress of what?
as if I'm gonna go back to school.
Oh, really? No, I don't have that at all. I have the feeling like this is just an indefinitely long summer. Like,
Yeah, and then I was just like, once August hits, it's gonna feel like the longest summer vacation of my life.
yeah, I have the feeling right now that I'm just on summer vacation. Honestly, it kind of feels almost like winter break, because winter break was like 2 months.
It doesn't feel like winter break.
Winter break, it just like school just started too quick. It was like, yeah, that was too long of a break because now I don't want to do anything. But,
Winter break is always weird.
The last couple weeks were kind of rough because I started working a whole bunch, and
Hello, Siri.
how did I do that? Was that my phone?
That was your phone.
Yeah, I started working a whole bunch, and so I didn't have time to
Enjoy.
do anything else.
Enjoy life.
Really enjoyed my winter, and then it just kind of just started all of a sudden. It's like, break started over.
Winter break.
See, right now, it's just like an indefinitely long summer, and I'm just kind of enjoying life right now. Life is great.
I hope you move to Omaha instead of moving out of state, because then we could still make videos pretty easily.
Oh, yeah.
We could just take a weekend and go make the short films, or 2 weekends, whatever the case is.
I don't know if those corner Nebraska trips are still going to happen though. At least this summer.
Well, next summer we'll have to take out vacation days.
We'll have to definitely take out vacation days next summer to make it happen.
And I don't think we're gonna go to the corners. I think we need to do something. I think we should go.
If you read the,
I want to go to California.
The Google Docs, I did put some interesting stuff. So like, northern one, we're gonna go see some dams. Then the southern one, this other one I guess is kind of boring.
I think next.
The southern one we're gonna go on a treasure hunt too. We have a big old monument when they first started the initial survey point, and it's like 200 feet off the road and through trees. There's actually a Google Map little dot there. You can drop a person there. I don't know. There's not only a path you can walk on. You kind of have to walk through the trees.
Yeah.
But you can get pretty precise GPS coordinates.
Next summer we got to go to California.
Yes. Your dad's coming too, right?
I don't know if he's going to come. We got to go to California next summer, though. If we can afford it. Obviously, we'll have to see, but maybe it'll be next winter. Did we say that we're going to go next winter would be the better time?
Oh, winter would be cool.
Because it'll be next spring, I should say. We have to go we have to go. I think we have to go in May. I think May's the best time because the roads will be clearing up in the mountains, so we'll be able to drive through Colorado, no problems.
Oh yeah. Because you said you didn't want to go during fire hazard, and you didn't want to go when it's hot, and
right. We have to go in about May because if we go too soon, there's going to be mudslides and stuff. Well, freaking California is hazardous.
I find it funny how you can just think of just some geological problem that's wrong with every single month
Well,
we keep going in the
California's
winter,
got
because that'll be the big tourist time. We won't be able to go anywhere because everyone's going to go to California when it's warm, and so it's not going to be fun to go in December. And January is basically the same story because that's all the New Year's people.
December. See, December's funny. The funny thing about December is that it's still fire season.
When all the cockroaches go there.
Well, no, fire season's still in December. Like, because of climate change,
See what
December's
I
still
mean?
dry.
You're gonna say, we can't go in August, September, October, November, December. It's all fire.
Right. I mean,
You act like the whole
we could probably
state.
go
You
in
act like the whole
January.
state's on fire.
We could probably go in January. It's just that it's not going to be sunny. It's just going to be kind of rainy. I mean,
See what I mean?
it's not going to be that rainy.
Kind of funny.
It's just going to be rainy enough.
That still makes it hell.
Well,
I can go any time
it's
of
the
the year with
same
you.
thing here. I mean,
Well, I think I'm just gonna leave you behind and go myself.
Phil, it's the same thing here. You don't go to Nebraska in January. You go in June.
Why not? No, I do. I go to Nebraska in January.
I
I have
wouldn't.
every year of my life.
I live here. Yeah, I've been here every January
I
of my
go to
life.
Nebraska every January of my life. It's great.
I don't think, that's an interesting question. Have you ever been someplace during a time of year that, so like, okay, let's look at January for some example. Have you ever been, like, in the winter, someplace warm during the winter? And have you ever been someplace cool during the summer?
I mean, I don't go on a lot of vacations,
Right, neither, I mean, I've gone more, I think I've gone on more
and
vacations.
I've never crossed the equator.
No.
Really, that's the only way to make it happen. Is that if you cross the equator, your seasons will flip.
Well, you could go to freaking Florida or California, and it's...
I guess in that sense you could do that when it's sunny. When it's wintertime here. But I've never been to California. I've never been to Florida.
Yeah, so, neither have I.
I technically been to DC, but that was in the spring.
Oh, yeah, I went in the freaking summer. That was trash. That was terrible. Do not go in the last week of September. I mean, I can't imagine going there in July, but the last week in
It's kind
September,
of fallish
last
to me.
week of June was terrible.
But you don't count September as fall?
I didn't mean to say September. I meant June. I was there the last week of June. It was terrible.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
see, I went in like March. It was over. No, it was not over spring break.
This was
It
summer.
was like what?
This was summer break for me.
No, I went during the school year.
Wow.
It was like I don't remember. It was like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I think I took Tuesday off because I had really bad jet lag. I felt sick. That's the when I go to school.
I felt fine the next day after mine, if I remember correctly. I know I came home and I passed out. I remember I came home and I passed out.
Well, see, I came home at like 11 o'clock at night. It was late.
Oh yeah, we didn't.
Well, at least for me as an 8th grader.
We
Coming
didn't
home at 11:30 was late for me.
Psh, I would have been like, oh, it's 11:30. I still got a whole day ahead of me. I still got till 3 a.m.
Okay, that's me now, not 8th grade me.
Yeah, me now. So like,
8th grade me, it's like, oh shit, it's 10 o'clock. I've been up late.
when we were camping this weekend, they're like, it was like 6 o'clock, and they're like, you're not hungry, and I'm like, no, my brain, because of how I work and when I work, I usually eat supper at 11 o'clock at night, so I don't get hungry till 9 p.m. And so, I had to force myself to eat. I didn't eat dinner. I snacked at 11 o'clock at night
Let's see.
because I wasn't hungry. I felt kind of sick that day too. I don't know. I was feeling kind of sick those 2 days. I don't know what the deal was. But, yeah. It's something about sleeping in a camper for 2 days really just screws you up. I'm still feeling kind of, ugh. By Wednesday, though, I'll feel great. Anyways, so back to this whole spiel.
To the comments.
Actually, we're done with this.
Back to the future of the channel.
Well, it's not much. I just thinking about canceling the farming sim. Thinking about it, and then we'll... But I just
Yeah,
gotta get into a
understandable.
rhythm. So bear with me, guys. Once I get into a rhythm, then we can hopefully start to see some growth.
Find your rhythm.
I just don't have rhythm. Fourth segment time. Alright, Phil's been bothering me about this hole. Okay, so... Alright, let me share my screen, because I saw this video of this guy. He was actually on... Not this guy.
Yeah, it's this guy. Let's see this clip.
This guy. He was... So this guy was on, Outrageous Acts of Science. Remember him? Like from the very first episode?
This guy was the bunker guy, yeah. Built an underground bunker in his backyard.
Well, okay,
So
yeah.
secret, like, yeah.
So he's digging a hole.
Today.
He's digging a hole in his...
He's been on there like twice.
What?
He's been on there like twice.
Yeah, this is the second time watching this video. So he's digging this hole in the floor of his shop. And it just reminds me of... let's just fast forward here to like where it is now. I don't want to watch your ad.
Yes.
Look at this guy.
It's gonna have an ad.
There we go. Oh my god, another ad. What the heck is this? Is this like people are connected on their stuff? Wait, skip. Whatever. Okay, blah 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 blah. I want to see the end product here. Come on.
No, stop. I want to see this huge hole.
Right. So
So
this is,
It's a long ladder. How does he get air down there? Or does he not? Oh, is he not to that point yet?
I don't
Oh
think.
no, he's not to that point. Never mind.
Oh yeah. So then the lockdown happened, and because he didn't want to annoy his neighbors, he couldn't dig for like several months. I thought he was going to get a lot of stuff done during lockdown, but he didn't get like any work done during lockdown because he had to start using heavy, like loud equipment. But he didn't want to bug his neighbors.
Wait a second. What do you mean? Wait. Was he building a tunnel to the bunker?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought this was a video of like him like building the. Oh, never mind then.
No, he's digging his way to the bunker.
Oh.
So yeah,
How does he know where he's going? Do you have like GPS or what?
he just, I guess, knows. He has a whole map, and I don't know.
Like, I'm kind of curious how you know if you're digging straight.
I mean, well, right now he just dug straight down.
Going down, I get that.
So in the
I don't know if
next,
you're digging.
so this is the
straight.
next episode, and he, this is when he starts to dig, sideways.
To the bunker?
And so if we fast forward to the end, so yeah, he's like talking about how he's changed how he does this, and how dangerous it is digging. He can only dig like a half a meter at a time, and then he has to put these supports up.
How deep is he?
What?
How deep is he?
He's like at least. So like to the floor, it's probably 6 or 7 meters.
Meter. And that bothers his neighbors?
I guess, but look at this. So here's the top up here, and then here's probably a meter or two. Then it gets down to the actual like tunnel.
Kind of curious though. Maybe it's really loud. Because I mean, you're underground. I was just kind of curious why that made so much
I
noise for
think
his
he's
neighbors.
just making a big deal about it. Anyways, so then he
I
does.
mean, he could have asked. He could have, made a whole bunch of noise one day, and went to his neighbors and be like, hey, "Was I a problem to you? If not, I mean, it's not a big deal. I
I
don't.
think
I can
he's
wait."
just doing it as a joke.
Wow.
So that, because like obviously he could just go in with like actual like excavating equipment and be done in like a month.
Yeah.
So anyways, so then he's got this, so like this whole section here took him like several months to dig.
Oh, really?
Like this part with the solid steel top took him like several months to dig. This part over here is already like 2 meters, and it took him, like a meter, and it took him like 2 weeks. So he's getting faster at it. Yeah, so here's the... Yeah, so that's the old section. That's the new section back there.
Do you need to pump air down there, though?
No, I don't think so.
How deep is it when you need to start pumping air?
I don't know. He was making a joke, though. He brought this fake canary in a cage and said, in case we hit toxic gas.
Oh.
But he's not that deep. This is like your basement.
Hmm?
This is like a deeper basement, or like a second layer under an underground parking garage. And this is, and he knows just about where he is above ground. That's what he was showing earlier. So, anyways, but like he's doing all of this by hand and stuff. Like he obviously has like a hydraulic jack he uses.
What is his channel name?
Oh yeah, then here's the tunnel to here's a bunker. I don't remember what his Colin Furs.
Furs?
Colin COLINFURZE. He does have a lot of really cool stuff. He does. But,
Is that his latest video?
I don't know. I don't not subscribed. This was from July 8th.
It's fairly recent, yeah.
It is fairly recent, yeah. So anyway.
So he doesn't show them connecting yet.
No, but that's the next episode. I think they're gonna do that. Because I think he has to start from inside the bunker on the next to connect them. I think that's his plan. Instead of digging up to the bunker. That's what he said. He said this longer section here that he's standing in, he had to stop and start working on the other end.
Why?
Because I think he's like, this is as far as I can go before connecting up with the bunker. I think actually his next plan is to fill this with concrete.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be like a tunnel within inside a tunnel. That's his plan.
What?
Yeah, he's gonna... So, this is just, the outside of the tunnel, and then he's gonna build a second tunnel inside of it, but it's gonna be concrete walls.
Oh.
I don't understand... I mean, it is safer, so I don't blame him, so... Anyways. So, this just reminds me, as a kid, every kid has wanted to dig a tunnel in their backyard.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't you want to do this?
Mm-hmm.
I tried to do it one time. Got my dad's spade, asked him where's the best place I can dig. I only went a foot or two, and the hole was probably only this big. That went about a foot down or two. I didn't go very far.
So the time capsule is the deepest hole you've dug.
Well, besides maybe a pet grave that I've helped my dad.
A tree. Oh, when you dug the tree hole.
Right.
That's fairly deep.
Yeah. Well, anyways, all of those prove how long...
Well, the tree hole had to be 4 feet, right? Otherwise it'll die of freezing.
Maybe. I don't remember.
I think 40 inches is what they recommend in Nebraska. Otherwise it'll die because it'll freeze. The ground freezes 40 inches or something.
Well, you can only dig it so deep because you have to keep that ball at where the tree gets grafted. You have to keep that above ground. You can't go any deeper. Then that will allow you. So.
Oh.
Otherwise, you'll kill the tree.
Oh no! I'm sorry. I'm thinking of putting posts in the ground. The tree's roots will go deeper. I'm sorry. No, I was thinking about when you put a post in the ground.
I have never
you want to go 40 inches.
A post hole by hand that deep.
You've never done it? Oh, I have.
By hand. We always get an auger from a skid steer because we're always going.
I didn't. You know the basketball hoop in the driveway?
Yeah.
Me and my dad dug that by hand.
Well, yeah, but that's one hole, and it probably took you all day.
Oh, it did. Well, actually, I think it was over the span of 2 days.
Yeah.
I think we spent all because it had to be 48 inches.
Yeah.
It
my
was a
dad and
deep hole.
we had to dig like 6-foot holes for
Hand?
these fence posts, and
Is that by hand or auger?
we used an auger on a skid loader.
Oh.
We
Yeah, but no, it
we had,
was.
we had to dig like 100 of them. We weren't gonna get that done anytime soon.
Oh.
Not 100, but like
Uh,
more than 20.
listen.
That would have
Yeah,
taken.
no, it was a deep. It took all day, and then I think the morning of the second day we finished. We decided to call it because we were close enough. Well, I think we did actually hit 48 inches, and then we got a whole bunch of concrete to fill it up, and we put rebar in there. And then
Digging is hard work.
and then it had to sit for like 3 weeks so it could cure.
Yeah. Digging is hard work. Like if you're trying
Maybe it wasn't 3 weeks. It was a while though.
I mean,
it was
if
like a
you're
week.
trying to dig fast, like we were that day for the time capsule,
Mhm.
and it was partially frozen, that doesn't help. And we're digging through tree roots. This guy, I don't think he ever hit one single tree root. Lucky him. But, yeah. Digging a hole like he did, I don't think...
And he probably doesn't have trees in his backyard. Or maybe he has one and he just avoided it.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't see a single tree root in in this entire time lapse. So,
Huh?
I don't know how he managed that. Here, though...
He lives in a city. He doesn't have. If he doesn't have a tree in his backyard, why would it be a root?
Well, there's like... It doesn't... You'd be surprised. We'll dig a hole out in the middle of the pasture and we'll hit a tree root. They're everywhere. At least here, anyways. Maybe in Great Britain, where this guy's from, the trees don't do that.
It's true.
I mean, it is a lot more of a wet climate there, so the trees don't need to have roots at the surface. Here, it's a bit more arid, and so trees probably need to have roots at the surface. Also, our trees are probably a lot older than the ones there. They're probably 100 plus years old, and those there are probably only 20, 30. Because at one point, every tree in the UK was chopped down.
What?
That's why they had to, that's why they had to find coal.
And
What? Several hundred years ago.
chopped down every tree in the UK.
Every oak tree, that is. There is not one single oak tree older than like a certain date. In the U.S., there's in certain places there are no oak trees that are older than a certain date because they were all chopped down by colonists to be used for furniture. Anyways, I want to do this.
Is that so they can like build ships and stuff, or what?
I don't know. I'm assuming so, but yeah. I don't know. Anyways, I want to dig a hole like this.
Oh.
Could you... this is why I want us to get a house. Because then we could get a house in the basement, bust a hole in the concrete, and dig a hole.
Yeah.
Or like out in the backyard, we build a shed that's enclosed and heated. And with a steel A-frame so that we can have a
I think it'd probably be easier to dig. Is it easier to dig from the ground down? And then just, build your frame and then fill it in with dirt later?
What do you mean?
Like, when you dig your foundation for your house, right?
Mm-hmm.
You dig a hole, a big long hole that will become the tunnel. Then put in your concrete support beams and all that. And then fill in the hole with dirt on top of your concrete support.
Maybe.
So now you're not digging a tunnel, basically forming a tunnel that you're then going to fill in with dirt so it can become a tunnel. You follow?
Yes, that would probably be easier. It'd be a lot more... It would be easier. but it would.
Removing more dirt, yes.
It's not as
But
fun.
it seems like it'd be easier to remove more dirt from the top than from the side.
But it's not as fun.
It's not fun to have a huge ass hole in your backyard.
I want to no, but see, I don't want to dig a tunnel. I want to dig just straight down.
Alright, fine. Well, you dig the hole. You can dig the whole hole, and then we'll go back in and fill it up.
No. I want to dig I want to dig like the borehole in Russia that got down like 3 miles. Now, obviously, we're not going to dig that far, but like I want to just dig as far as we can.
Before you no longer own the land beneath it.
Pretty much. And mineral rights in Nebraska are a little.
Because see, that's the thing. Eventually, if you dig deep enough, you'll be cutting into your neighbor's territory. Because you think about it, the lines go radially inward to the center.
I mean, who's going to care?
My point is that, next thing you know, your hole is the side of the city, is the bottom layer, covers the entire area of the city block. I don't know how deep you need to reach to get that to that point.
Right. How
You
deep?
need a
have
pretty
to go?
substantial hole, but you have now invaded into the property of the entire city block.
How deep would you have to go before that happens?
I mean, radially inward lines. I mean, considering the size of the Earth, pretty substantially deep.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it's that big of a deal. What I think what I would do is that so like you have your shed, right? I mean, unless we build a shed specifically for digging the hole, we might build the shed. Dig down, build another like enclosure, but like pretty far deep down, and build a hole. But then we build the hole. So like we have the shed, we dig a tunnel down, and then we build another a basement essentially, but like not, but pretty far down below the surface. Probably 5-6 meters. Build a place, and then we off-center the hole, and we dig down a different spot. That way, we don't have to worry about. That way, we can like. It just would so that way you're not like having to go. You don't have to climb down the same hole to get to your wench. If that makes sense. Like, your wench isn't... How do I explain this? Your wench is over just the dig hole, not also the entrance hole. It's not the same spot, if that makes sense.
Oh.
That's what I think we would do. And I would think you would want to build one of these little huts every 6 meters or so. It'd be a lot of work, and I don't think you'd ever get that deep to do like a third one. You might be able to pull off a second one, but a third one in your lifetime without like just every single day using explosives and stuff. Just I'm really curious because like obviously he hit limestone really quickly. I'm curious to see what the depth of soil here is in Nebraska, because I think it's deeper than that.
Limestone?
Before we hit limestone, I think it's a lot deeper. I think we have to go a long ways, and I don't even know. Maybe you might not even hit limestone. You might hit granite. Who knows what kind of rock you'll hit? Probably limestone, but I have no idea. I don't know what's down there. What's down there? That is the question. I want to find out.
Dirt, and more dirt, and then some rock.
But what rock? I want to know.
Rock.
I want to do this. I want to get
The
it.
kind you don't eat.
I want to dig a hole straight down.
You eat limestone?
Do you what?
You eat limestone?
No, you don't eat limestone. You use
Oh.
it for
So it's not like
a
charcoal.
pH balancer.
Limestone's not like charcoal.
No,
Can't you just have like a little smackerel?
you can't just eat
Or a snack.
limestone. It'll react with your stomach acid. I'll tell you that much.
Will it be satisfying?
I know. Don't eat limestone, kids. Okay? Don't. You can eat charcoal. I wouldn't recommend you eat charcoal, but don't eat
I would.
limestone.
I would highly recommend. Gotta get your carbon intake for the day.
It's calcium that's in the limestone.
You gotta get. So if you eat. So limestone's good for your teeth.
Oh yeah. No, that's you need fluoride.
Your dentist will be thrilled to hear you eating limestone.
What happened to your teeth? Oh, I was eating limestone. You were eating what now?
Man, look how white and shiny they are. Or at least what's
Yeah.
left of them.
Yeah, that's what your teeth will look like.
At least what's left of them. Or maybe you could just powder it down, mix it in with your food.
I mean, I guess at that point, but you're gonna make your stomach.
Limestone brownies. Mmm.
Oh my god. You're gonna make your stomach acid too basic, and you won't be able to digest food.
Not in large quantities. I mean, I don't know how much limestone you need to reach your daily intake, but I mean, it's probably not that high.
Well, okay, yeah, 1 Tums is probably enough.
Yeah. 1 tub is probably enough.
No, Tums,
Oh, tums.
not a tub, like a
A
bathtub.
tub. 1 bathtub of limestone is enough.
Oh my god, could you imagine 1 bathtub of powderized limestone?
Mmm.
Why do you
Does
want to
that-
eat
does-
limestone? That's the question and the problem here. Why do you want to eat limestone? Is that charcoal?
My mouth
finally
is
messing with your
already.
brain?
My mouth is already starting to salivate thinking about limestone.
No, it's thinking about how dry it's gonna be, so it's producing
Yum.
extra.
Well, I'm not gonna drink it I'm not gonna eat it without a beverage.
You know what? Balance it out.
I'm not
with
crazy.
Hydrochloric acid.
I'm not crazy. I'm gonna have a beverage to go with it.
You know what? Balance it out with a dilute solution of hydrochloric acid.
Oral antimonic.
Yes. Literally make the pH of your stomach so low that the mucus that your body generates will not be enough, and it will just spill out into your guts, killing you within a matter of minutes. Sounds like a great idea. The worst case of heartburn ever.
It just depends how basic your stomach is. Can it neutralize it?
Okay.
I mean, there's some pretty damn basic white girls out there that could probably neutralize that stuff, but I'm not one of them.
Oh, well, I should hope not. Phil, are you telling us you're a white girl, which would make you a trans lesbian?
Would you say a trans lesbian?
Yes, sir. Pre-op.
Is that how that works?
It's not how that works. I was telling somebody at work the other day, yeah, I'm a pre-op trans lesbian. They're like, so straight. With extra steps. Yes, straight with extra steps. I feel as if I'm a woman trapped in a man's body, but I'm still attracted to women. That's pre-op trans. That's pre-op trans lesbian.
Trans lesbian. So you're on the verge of becoming a lesbian.
Yeah. Well, no, you identify
So you're not there yet.
as a woman. So, therefore, you would be a lesbian and identify as a woman. But you're not physically a woman.
Right. Identify as one.
You identify as one, but you're not physically a woman. In
No.
the eyes of everybody, you're a woman. But in the eyes of biology, you're a man still. I mean, you're still gonna look like a guy. Alright?
I don't know. They
Unless you decide...
make some
like,
pretty convincing wigs.
I mean, yeah, but you're not gonna have any boobs.
Let's get implants.
That's post-op.
Oh.
I mean, that's just one part of the operation.
Hey, so what? You're
Next
just a
part
woman with
requires
a...
them to cut your nuts.
Oh, what? You're just as flat as a pancake. Big deal. Get over it.
The implants isn't the part of the surgery that's the problem. It's the next
You're just
part.
mad because you can't even fit into an A cup.
Alrighty, that's enough of this podcast. We went from wanting to dig a hole to whatever. Point is,
You brought it up.
for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. New podcast every other Friday at 11 a.m. Central Time. And good night.